Time for another round of comment responses.
Whoosh. It's us.
That's a great idea. Also, in the drawing, the sixth line is much smaller than the others, which would make sense if it was just a prototype. At first, I saw this comment and I was like, yeah, I'm sure that supplying all of the slaves that are about to die in the arena with hair dye is the Galra Empire's #1 priority. Then I thought about it a bit longer, and from a more serious point of view, it would make sense to give Shiro, a high-profile gladiator, his own signature look. From a Galra point of view, Shiro is very small and not very intimidating, so they would have wanted to make him seem a little more fearsome, and obviously a fresh fade is the best way to do that. Or maybe Ulaz was secretly an avant-garde hairstylist who saw Shiro and thought, this is my time to shine. This is a compelling idea, and it definitely makes a lot of sense, especially since Alfor was, in a way, originally a part of the castle before Crystal Venom. Also, if the castle ship is the White Lion, then it might be capable of things that we haven't seen yet. Lance as Black Paladin, even if it's only for a brief moment like Keith in Season 2, Episode 1, is definitely something we shouldn't rule out. Also, color is very important in film, perhaps even more so in an animated series where everything is already pretty color coordinated. In the pilot episode, the animators even put Lance and Hunk in trash cans that matched the colors of their lions. There are a lot of visual clues in Voltron, so noticing all of the little details like color is a good practice to follow when watching the show. So, the thing about interviews is, I don't really trust them. This little tidbit from Joaquim dos Santos sums up why I have trust issues.
I never trusted those guys, right from the beginning.
Having one of the executive producers straight up tell us that they were intentionally misdirecting us is enough for me to regard anything else they say with a generous serving of doubt. And that leads me to... Alright, so I love wikis or wikias or whatever. They're great at compiling a lot of info in a short and informative way, and they're an excellent resource whenever you want to do a fact check without actually combing through the source material. However, wikis are, as the website states, for fans by fans. So if the wiki says Shiro's hair is white because of stress, that can only be considered canon if it has already been established in the show, which it hasn't. Otherwise, we wouldn't still be talking about this. The closest any official source has come to acknowledging Shiro's new do is the Paladin Handbook, which is, once again, a dubious source of information.
Rax, why?
These two bring.
It's worth noting as well that Shiro was the one who states that stress can do some pretty terrible things. Shiro, the guy with amnesia. He couldn't even remember Ulaz until the second season, so it seems unlikely that he'd be the expert on everything that happened to him that year. For now, I'm gonna stay suspicious. It's very odd that Lotor's hair and eye color are a better match for Allura and her parents than they are for Zarkon and Honerva. The idea that he's some kind of test tube baby, or even some sort of science experiment, is very interesting to me and would explain why Hagar treats him like he's someone who needs to be monitored and controlled. In my video about the Altean Shiro theory, I hypothesized that Hagar was trying to genetically manipulate people to be more like sacred Alteans, so it could be that Lotor was an experiment. Perhaps Hagar created him because they needed someone with the powers of a sacred Altean, although the reasons why are still unclear. That's kind of hilarious, but also really sad since the movie was such a disappointment. In the last part of the Line Switch series, I'll definitely include stuff like studio interference as something to consider when analyzing a show or movie. After all, the creative process is a long and difficult one, and is often derailed by many a meddlesome executive. I can't believe we could have had a 4th season of Avatar. Well, that's it for today, folks. I love reading your comments. You guys are all amazing. All 800 of you?